What if the secret to easing your pet's joint pain or boosting your own immune system was hiding in an ancient tropical fruit? Today on Wellness Made Easy, Larry Logsdon joins Dr. Adam Brockman, co-host of the nation's largest weekend syndicated health talk show, to uncover the power of real nutrition and nature's most underrated healer, Noni. Can a whole food solution outshine synthetic supplements for both people and pets? Is your dog's kibble doing more harm than good? Stick around. This episode could transform how you care for your health and your pets.
We've been talking about a little different perspective on whole health food supplementation for pets. And as a doctor, mainly for humans, but occasionally patients will ask about their pets. And I've seen firsthand how nutrition transforms lives, both human and animal. But here's something to think about. We're overcomplicating pet health while we're overlooking these nature's simplest solutions. The pet supplement industry is booming with synthetic vitamins and flashy marketing. But the truth is our animals thrive on real food, just as they would in the wild. And take liver, for example. It's nature's original multivitamin. It's packed with bioavailable iron, vitamin A, and B12. Yet, most pet owners reach for processed kibble that's fortified with synthetic nutrients that lack the enzymes and the cofactors needed for proper absorption. It's like building a house with half the bricks missing. Now, don't get me wrong, targeted supplements have their place, like the example I gave with Max, that senior German Shepherd with arthritis. He needed that extra joint support. So his owner paired his bone broth diet with chondroitin sulfate. But here's the critical distinction. Supplements should enhance whole foods and not replace them. And the real tragedy here, many pets suffer from preventable deficiencies simply because we've been sold the idea that complete and balanced comes from a bag. You can change your dog with chronic skin issues that resolved with sardines. That's a natural omega-3 source. And cats whose digestion transformed with fermented milk. Those aren't miracle cures. They're nature's blueprint for health. So my prescription, start with species-appropriate whole foods. Then maybe that 20% we discussed, layer in high-quality supplements for their specific needs. Because at the end of the day, our pets don't need all the pills. They need us to remember what real nutrition looks like. And joining us now, our guest and friend of the show is about to reveal the stunning results of one of nature's most powerful whole food supplement, a secret Polynesian healers have trusted for centuries, and how it can help your pet's health and your health. And let me tell you, what modern science is now confirming about this ancient superfruit will blow your mind. Please join me in welcoming a visionary in functional foods and a true pioneer in tropical nutraceuticals. It's Mr. Larry Logsdon, founder of Tahiti Trader and one of the world's leading researchers in bioactive plant compounds. And for decades, Larry has dedicated his life to unlocking the healing wisdom of traditional Polynesian medicine. In particular, the extraordinary benefits of noni fruit, a fruit that's so potent it was once called the aspirin of the ancients. And from supporting immune function to promoting cellular regeneration, noni is packed with compounds that science is only beginning to fully understand. And today, Larry will share groundbreaking research on how this superfruit outperforms synthetic supplements, delivering real measurable results for everything from inflammation to energy levels. So whether you're struggling with chronic health issues, or your pet is, or you're simply looking to optimize your wellness, this conversation could be the missing link you've been searching for. So with that, Larry, welcome to the Dr. Bob Martin Show. How are you today?
I'm good. Dr. Brockman, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us today and talking about this. I think a lot of listeners this will resonate with because, as we discussed, a lot of times owners of pets, they'll do anything for their pets. They're an extension of their family, almost one of their kids. So Larry, with studies showing that 20 to 25% of all dogs suffer from osteoarthritis and up to 80% of senior dogs experiencing joint pain, why do you think many pet owners still miss early signs of chronic inflammation in their pets?
Well, that's a good question, Dr. Brockman. I think the big problem is most people think, hey, it's going to be okay. Pet him a little bit. Okay, it's good. He's just getting a little old. Folks, it's not the way it's supposed to be. And I can tell you from personal experience with my older dogs that this is not the way it is if you know what you're looking for. If they start slowing down, you got a problem. If you start noticing that they eek and ook a little bit when they get up and down, and you notice that there's some problems. This is what's going on. And it's just basically it's pain and inflammation coming from the diet. And just as you led the story with, that these things are so important to get good food. Most people don't know what good food is. They think it comes out of a bag of Purina something or other. And, I'm not saying it's a bad product. I'm saying it's not how the dog would live in the wild. The dog would live on probably meats. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I almost think of kibble as, that cereal that's sitting in your cabinet that you're trying to get your kids to avoid eating, because it is there and it's giving them some nutrients, but because those are fortified, but it also has some of the things that are not so good in there. The things that the dog also, it may not be sugar on the label, it's things like corn that will be processed into sugar, and that causes that chronic inflammation. And that's really what some of this is about, trying to recognize that just because we think that what comes in that bag should be exactly what our dog should eat, and that should be it, or a cat, that's not true. Maybe we can go to the store and pick up some organic beef liver, or what you led me to. You were telling me about how you've had people that have contacted you and said they use noni juice for their pets.
They do. In fact, that's a very good point. You see, what happens in this life is that nature will supply everything you need to heal, whether it's you or it's your pet. Now, my dad grew up on a farm. As you know, we're farming people from Iowa. Mm-hmm. And the dogs got the scraps from the table. They got the bones. They got all the things that were left over, and they were the healthiest dogs that live out 17, 18 years before, of course, end of life. Most people today are lucky to get 10 or 12. And why is that? Because there's too many additives to the food to try and strengthen the food, because the food is already naked. What noni juice does, folks, is it brings into the dog's diet all the nutrients they need to get the body back in balance. So it starts healing itself like it's supposed to do. And that is the key element here. Now, when it comes to pain and inflammation, noni has an amazing ability to manage the COX-2 enzyme. That's a big deal, because that's what causes inflammation, and that's what the cause of additional pain comes from. So, most animals who start on noni juice start feeling better. And that's a big deal, because when your dog starts seeing a difference, guess what? He's going to be a whole lot better. Just keep doing what you're doing. Hey, it's good for you, too. You're going to really enjoy the way you feel when you drink it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're talking with Larry Logsdon, the owner of, he's a functional food researcher, and he's also the owner of Tahiti Trader, which makes noni juice. And we're talking about the benefits of your pet in noni juice. And just stick around. We're going to come right back to this conversation. You're listening to the Dr. Bob Martin Show. I'm Dr. Adam Brockman, and we're all about smarter living, even for your pets, and teaching you to become your own best doctor most of the time. Remember, if you've got questions about your health or your pet's health, nutrition, or anything in between, you can call our toll-free hotline at 800-606-8822. That's where two licensed physicians, Dr. Bob and I, are standing by to help you unlock your best self, maybe even your pet's best self. That's 800-606-8822. Again, 800-606-8822. Let's get back into it with Larry Logsdon, the CEO of Tahiti Trader, the makers of Noni Juice, and he's also a functional food researcher. And we've been talking about your pets. And Larry, large breeds like Labs and German Shepherds are disproportionately affected by conditions like hip dysplasia. What specific preventive measures would you recommend for owners that are these at-risk breeds, and how maybe chronic inflammation sets in, arthritis sets in, and how Noni Juice may help?
Well, doctor, the thing is, you can make a difference in that animal's life, and this is something you can actually measure. Get yourself a bottle of our island-style juice. Give them a half an ounce to an ounce a day for a week, and you're going to notice a big difference in that animal, because the hip dysplasia is just the result of arthritis, which is the result of COX-2 enzyme, which is the result of poor nutrition. This will help the body heal, and this is what you want to try and do, is get the healing going, and that animal's going to respond right away. You're going to notice it. In fact, when you open the bottle, he's going to want to lick right out of your hands that juice. And this is important, folks, because whether your animal is suffering from hip dysplasia, or maybe it's a neuropathic pain or possibly cancer pain, which is very common, you'll find that it all clears up. In fact, I have one of our Noni users who used Noni Juice on their German Shepherd, had a big cancerous tumor on their lip, and inside of 6 weeks it was gone. So guess what? It's all doable, folks. You just have to decide what you want. Let the body heal itself. I would say so with Noni Juice. And in fact, I think we might even have an audio clip we could share.
Yeah, you brought that interview to my attention. If we can play that audio.
Good morning, Pam. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Well, I heard you've been having some fun with the Noni, and even you might be even having some fun with the dogs or something.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. We own one of our dogs is a Belgian Malinois, and she got an injury early on when we had gotten her, and seemed to come out of it fine. But then later, she would have trouble with her shoulder and her neck and her spine wanting to come out. We came across a wonderful pet chiropractor, and that helped immensely. But in between, till we could get her there, or after an adjustment, we would use the Noni at half the human dose, and it is amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
What did you see happen there for the dog?
Oh, just a tremendous change in the way she was moving, the way she was, and you could see that the pain was being relieved. And so we're thrilled. We know it's worked for us for years. We love you all's product because, first of all, the purity of it. We love the purity and the strength of it, because it's an incredible product, and we have never had a problem. And the dogs love the taste, so it works out perfect.
Well, so, Pam, if you're a dog, what's not to love about it?
That's true. It's just that's exactly right, and it does. It means relief for them. When they've had some sort of injury or and we've had dogs that were older, and just with some of the natural deteriorations that they can have, and it worked tremendously when they were having a rough day.
And that's awesome news. What we find is that what the pain is related to is the inflammation.
Absolutely.
And that's what Noni is, a natural manager of the COX-2 enzyme. And when the COX-2 is under control, then you don't have the inflammation and you don't have the pain.
Absolutely, yes, and we're fully aware, and that was one of the things that drew me to it, was the fact that it is a wonderful anti-inflammatory also. We've been on to Noni for years and years, but we love, you guys are one of the companies out there that still put it in glass. but we could not be more thrilled with your product. And I was so excited when I found it, when I saw the strength of it, the purity of it, and just the effectiveness. Like I said, on pain, it is, and no risk of any form of addiction, which is wonderful to find a pain reliever that's that good, but non-addictive.
All right, Larry, thank you for sharing that interview with Pam. She was talking about it. One of those points grabbed my attention. She said it's one of the few things that uses glass still. And why is that so important, Larry?
Well, Doctor, glass in holding a product is the only true way to hold a vacuum and keep out outside air. See, plastics, folks, they actually will breathe. You can actually squeeze them and the air moves. The only reason they move is because air is moving. And that is not what you want, number one. Number two, plastics have got a way that they continue to shed their microplastic into the solution, and microplastics are the ones that upset your hormone systems and a lot of other problems too. And you don't have any of that with glass. Glass is perfect, and it'll hold it for years and years and years.
So you get the good stuff with the Noni Juice on the inside without the risk of microplastics. So that's a win for everybody. All right, Larry, you also brought to my attention about a Dr. Bob Martin Show special for our listeners. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, we have a special, folks, for you to try this out. It is our Island Style Twin Pack. Now, the Island Style is our fermented juice, and this is the one that doesn't taste all that great. It's because it's like a vinegar, but it is the potent stuff. Even has got the pulp in there, just like orange juice does when it's fresh. All that's in there. And we're going to give you a twin pack, 2 bottles, and we're going to give you a shot glass measured and our new book, Building an Amazing Immune System. And all this is going to be at $67.95, which is a fantastic offer. It's about 30% off buying all those items separately. And you'll find it on our website, TahitiTrader.com, and search for the Dr. Bob Martin special. And you'll love it. You'll love it, love it, love it.
All right, Larry. So again, that was 2 packs of Island Style Noni Juice, a shot glass so you can measure, and the book that you wrote on how to build an amazing immune system. And that's all for Dr. Bob Martin Show listeners at $67.95, which is about 30% off. All right, Larry, thank you for letting our listeners have that. And then also, we're going to come up on a break, and we're going to come back with Larry on this. Now, let's dive back into our conversation with Larry Logsdon, the CEO of Tahiti Trader and a functional food researcher. And Larry, I know I'm going to get this question. Can you tell our listeners what to expect on as far as dosage for their pets? How should they give Noni Juice to their pets?
Well, that's a very good question, Dr. Brockman. What I suggest, folks, is understand the animal is going to be about half of what a human would get. So here's the thing. If you have a 150-pound human, you have about 1 ounce of Noni Juice. And so for an animal, about half that would do it, especially if it's a large animal. But you can also adjust depending on how the animal's responding. If it's responding poorly, you need to add more, fine, add some more. It's safe. There's nothing, no addiction or anything like that to worry about. If you have a very, very small animal, you might have to use a dropper stopper in order to figure out how much to use. It would be less than a half an ounce, but it's fairly simple, folks. It's not rocket science. The animals like the way it tastes, and they'll lick it right out of your hands. So you let them figure it out for you.
Mm-hmm. That's great. And again, as far as dosage go, I know when I'm drinking my Noni Juice, I like that I already have that shot glass that you sent, and the shot glass is not for bourbon here; it's for the Noni Juice. So again, the special that you're offering our listeners already comes with that shot glass. Can you say again what comes in that Dr. Bob Martin Show special pack?
Yes, we have a very special twin pack of our Island Style Juice. It's $67.95. It's about 30% off if you buy all the items separately. And you're going to get that together with our measured shot glass, branded glass, so you know exactly how much you're getting in your dosage. You're also getting a copy of my latest book on how to build an amazing immune system. And folks, this applies to dogs too, by the way. And this is all part of a package which you're going to get when you order the Dr. Bob Martin special on our website at www.tahititrader.com, and just search for the Dr. Bob Martin special. It's not hard to find. It's in the shopping cart area, and we're happy to do this for you. It's a very special price. It'd be a lot more if you bought on someplace else, but we're here to make sure the customers of Dr. Bob get great offers and get great results.
Thank you for that, Larry. And Larry, you also brought to my attention some research studies on noni and in pets. Or animals? Can you give the listeners some insight on that?
Well, yes, animal studies have been conducted on various types of animals, particularly rodents, which are so much easier to work with because they're small enough. But they found that noni extracts reduced the pain perception and the inflammation levels in rodents. Now, we're talking about rats here, folks, but animals, all of them are the same. If it works on one, it works on the other. In fact, it'll work on you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And Larry, can you explain how the compounds in noni work differently than maybe what I said earlier, which was that noni was considered the aspirin for the ancients? How does that compare to traditional NSAIDs or anti-inflammatories, and how does that work for say dogs or cats or whatever pet you may have?
Well, noni's different, folks. It is a natural anti-inflammatory. Of course, it's normal property. You see, it carries a special compound called scopolamine and dimenthicol, and these flavonoids that work together to help reduce the inflammation and pain in the joints and in the muscle and connective tissue, which is where usually the pain's coming from. And it works naturally. So the body's healing itself through these compounds. And by the way, it's just a member of 165 other compounds that's only found in noni, nowhere else, and the body loves it. It uses these compounds to help manage the COX-2 enzyme, which is important because when you reduce the enzyme, you also reduce the inflammation and the swelling. That's a big deal. You want to cut that back so the animal or yourself can feel better right now. There's also the antioxidant protection that noni brings, and these antioxidants work long term. That's a big deal, where it isn't just take it every 4 hours. This is going to last, days at a time. And this is important because you want long-term results. Well, the reason why is because the animal or yourself is healing, and the body is doing the stuff it's supposed to do, and you don't need another drug to get it done.
Mm-hmm. And you've also given me some information about an example of a dog that recovered from ACL surgery, and also another one that was using noni in conjunction with cancer treatment. And when we come back, I want to hit that just a little bit on how noni can help. You mentioned the antioxidants, the anti-inflammatories. There's a lot to noni. If you're just now joining us, today we dove into the world of whole food nutrition and targeted supplementation for our furry family members. I encourage you to re-listen to the show or listen to it for the first time again. We've been with Larry Logsdon, the CEO of Tahiti Trader, the makers of Noni Juice, and he's a functional food expert. He's been talking about some of the benefits, and before break we were talking about a dog that was going through cancer treatment and using Noni Juice at the same time. And also, so Larry, I want you to expand on that.
Well, Dr. Brockman, what we have, folks, is there's about 90 million dogs here in the U.S., and of them, about 20 to 25% of these animals are suffering from osteoarthritis pain, and these dogs are even worse as they get older. And about 80% of these are going to the veterinarian trying to solve a pain problem. Noni Juice is the natural solution for these problems because the body wants to heal itself and the foods just simply don't have what it needs. It's an amazing thing. If you have a dog with cancer, you're going to find that they do better. Their inflammation under control. Many people find that their dogs actually recover from it all through the Noni Juice. Whether it's that or neuropathic pain, spinal disorders, it doesn't matter. You're going to find that there is tremendous benefit from just giving them the Noni Juice. It'll help you too, by the way. It's an amazing product, and I welcome you to give it a try.
Larry, give our listeners the Dr. Bob Martin Show special that you were kind enough to offer, please.
Well, we have a twin pack of our island style juice that we're offering for Dr. Bob Martin customers only. It is twin pack $67.95. That's about 30% off if you bought it elsewhere. That'll include also our measured shot glass, my new book called Building an Amazing Immune System, all inclusive with a Dr. Bob Martin special when you go to our website, TahitiTrader.com, and look for the Dr. Bob Martin special, and we'll take care of you real good.
All right. Thank you for that, Larry. And again, that's the Dr. Bob Martin Show special Larry's been kind enough to offer. It's 2 packs of island-style noni juice, a shot glass to measure that, in his book, How to Build an Amazing Immune System. All that for $67.95. And with that, it's time to sign off. Until next time, keep those tails wagging, those purrs rumbling. And remember, when it comes to your pet's well-being, you are their greatest advocate. This is Dr. Adam Brockman, and for the entire Dr. Bob Martin Show team, stay healthy.
Thanks for listening to Wellness Made Easy. Be sure to follow us on social media and visit TahitiTrader.com to explore the benefits of Noni Juice and take advantage of exclusive offers, because wellness, yours and your pets, starts with the right choices.